No mai haere mai, welcome to 3 News. Grieving families are now confronting the tragedy the Bay of Plenty has feared since the moment the hillside gave way. Police have confirmed human remains have been found at the Mount Maunganui slip site, a devastating turning point that ends hope of a rescue. 6 people are still unaccounted for, and the Chief Coroner has now arrived as the operation shifts into a dangerous and painstaking recovery mission. Ava Whitworth reports from the scene.
A community's grief laid bare on the face of Deputy Mayor Jen Schooler, with the news no one has wanted.
We're now in a situation where overnight we have now found human remains, and so we're working through that phase now.
That means this tireless work is no longer a rescue mission.
We're now moving into a recovery phase, and this is heartbreaking news for us and also obviously the families involved.
6 people remain unaccounted for. The Chief Coroner has now arrived in Mount Maunganui.
This is an unimaginably terrible time for those people who've lost people they love.
The recovery work will continue, but with ongoing rain, police say it is dangerous work and they can't assure the families all of the bodies will be recovered.
Hopefully we will, but I'm not going to put people in further danger. None of us will, but we're continuing to manage that, and we've got some pretty strict parameters around those that are working on site right now.
The impact on them also immense.
This has been a harrowing job. My respect goes out and thoughts go out to the families, but equally, for emergency workers and particularly those working on site, it's as tough for them as well. There's psychological impacts.
The Chief Coroner says once the bodies are recovered from here, they will be transported to a Hamilton mortuary with any specific cultural needs met. She says the identification process can be painstaking and complex and will take some time, but they must do it properly.
I want to reassure family and friends that the people they love who have died in this tragedy will be treated with dignity and respect as we work through the processes that we need to follow.
Some people have been breaching the cordons, which police say they have zero tolerance for.
I'd expect if anyone actually breaks through a cordon or even considers going up the mount, they'd be arrested and be put before the courts.
Visitors to New Zealand paying tributes today after hearing other foreigners are among the missing.
We humans should be there for each other and just show compassion and comfort. And as I said, I'll be praying for everyone who's affected.
Locals too coming to terms with the tragedy.
We're not used to this kind of thing happening. It normally happens to everyone else. The Bay of Plenty has escaped a lot of bad things. 3
days on from the slip, an uneasy quiet hangs over the mount as a community stands together, hoping every loved one can be returned.
Ava Whitworth joins us now from Mount Maunganui. Ava, how have things changed on the ground since the news this is now a recovery operation?
Yes, Lisette, there's definitely been a distinct change in mood now that we've had that confirmation of being in the recovery stage. And the community's obviously been clinging to hope, but now support as floral tributes begin to grow. And now that we've had the names released of those unaccounted for, personal tributes have been coming out as well, with Pakuranga College confirming that 2 of their students are among the missing, and the auntie of one of those victims, who's just 15 years old, saying that the incident has been absolute torture for the family. And of course, tributes from New Zealand have been coming in, but from all over the world as well. It's just shown how much of an impact this tragedy has made.
Ava, thank you so much. And as Ava has mentioned, this afternoon police named the 6 people caught in the landslide, and just reiterating, it is now apparent they will not be able to bring them home alive. They are 50-year-old Lisa McLennan from Morrinsville, 20-year-old Mans Bernhardsen from Sweden, 71-year-old Jacqueline Wheeler from Rotorua, 71-year-old Susan Knowles from Nongataha, just out of Rotorua, and the 2 15-year-olds involved in this disaster, Sharon Machaniko and Max Furski, both from Auckland. The Prime Minister has been in whangarei today with Emergency Management Minister Mark Mitchell and was due to give a press conference earlier. However, power cuts and road diversions prevented that from happening. Instead, Christopher Luxon has released this statement, describing it as devastating to receive the news we have all been dreading. He went on to extend his condolences directly to those most affected, writing, "To the families who have lost loved ones, every New Zealander is grieving with you." Joining us now live is Tauranga Mayor Mahe Drysdale. And Mahe, there are 6 grieving families and a heartbroken community tonight. We understand the floral tributes are building at the cordon now, but how are people there supporting each other?
Look, this is absolutely heartbreaking news for both the families and for our community. This is the news we didn't want to hear. What we're trying to do is tomorrow we're going to put a condolence centre up where community can come together, they can share stories, they can share their grief together and hopefully seek support from each other. So look, this is a very, very tough time for the whole region, and it's been amazing how our communities have got in behind it.
How much of a factor is the ongoing bad weather when it comes to making progress now with recovering the missing?
Look, it's a very complex site. There's still a lot of danger there, but the police have the experts required to ensure that everyone remains safe. The last thing we want to do is put the rescue workers at risk.
Is there any indication of how much longer this operation could take?
Look, it's, as I said, a very complex site and there's still a lot of work to do, but the rescue workers are absolutely determined to bring every one of those 6 that are missing home, and that hasn't changed even with this very sad news today.
Understandably, the focus is on the recovery still, but are there any plans yet in place for potentially a public vigil in the coming days?
Look, that's probably still early days. We still haven't found all 6 and recovered them, and that is the real key thing here, and obviously supporting the families. But as I say, we are going to set up a community centre where people can start sending some messages to the families and talk about their grief, and that will certainly be the first part of the remembrance of these people.
Of course, this doesn't just affect New Zealand families. This disaster has been making news in Sweden and Italy, where some of those who are unaccounted for are from. Are you speaking to reps from those countries, and what is your message to the international community tonight?
Yeah, look, I think to the international community, we are with you. We feel your pain with you. I haven't spoken directly to Italy or Sweden at this point, but certainly there's been a lot of interest, especially from the UK and Australia.
Tauranga Mayor Mahe Drysdale, thank you so much for joining us on a very busy week and weekend.